For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Derek Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorials.com. Memorials that matter. Fergus Falls Chief of Public Safety Kyle Berggren has identified the motorcycle operator that died in an accident on Lincoln Avenue Tuesday morning. The Fergus Falls Police Department, Fergus Falls Fire, and Ringdale Ambulance were dispatched to the initial report of a motorcycle crash with the operator on the ground not moving. Upon arrival, officers found the motorcycle operator, now identified as 22-year-old Jacob Helms of Fergus Falls, lying in the left lane of travel and checked for vitals. Helms had sustained significant injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. Officers took statements from a number of witnesses who indicated that Helms was westbound on Lincoln Avenue and had collided with the rear portion of a semi-truck's trailer. The semi, driven by 59-year-old David Norgard of South Dakota, had exited eastbound 94 and was making a left turn to go east on Lincoln. Westbound Lincoln Avenue remained closed for a few hours while investigators worked the scene to reconstruct the crash. The investigation is ongoing. At around 2:30 Saturday afternoon, the Otter County Sheriff's Department responded to a single vehicle accident in rural New York Mills. According to officials, the vehicle had struck a tree and the driver, 72-year-old Ronald Pulver of New York Mills, was found deceased. Drugs and alcohol are not considered to be factors in the accident. 38-year-old Nathan Mark Hansen of Breckenridge was arrested last week after he allegedly harassed and threatened his neighbors. According to court documents, Breckenridge police officers responded to reports of a domestic incident in an apartment complex at around 7:30 in the evening on June 20th. Hansen was identified as a suspect and located outside of the apartment complex. The officer speaking with Hansen observed that he was very jittery, speaking fast, and appeared to be under the influence of methamphetamine. He admitted to yelling at multiple people in the building, though he didn't remember what he said. Officials spoke with multiple tenants who said that Hansen had come to their units multiple times throughout the day, yelling and banging on the doors. One of the tenants said that at one point she let Hansen into her apartment. He was wielding a hammer when he allegedly threatened her, then hit the wall with the hammer 3 times. Hansen admitted to having the hammer and hitting the tenant's wall and said he never made any threats. The officer asked Hansen about using drugs, and he admitted to smoking methamphetamine in his bathroom earlier that morning. Hansen was arrested and is currently being held in Wilkin County Jail. He has been charged for terroristic threats and is facing up to 5 years in prison. His next court appearance is July 2nd. Otter County is pleased to announce Rob Emerson as the new Veterans Service Officer. Emerson's career with Otter County began in 2015, serving the public first as a surveillance officer for the DWI court program in the probation department, and later as a probation agent for the county. Emerson grew up in Fergus Falls and graduated in 2005. He served in the United States Marine Corps from 2005 to 2010. Following his military service, Emerson returned to Minnesota and earned a degree in natural resources and law enforcement from the University of Minnesota Crookston. Emerson appreciates the dedicated service of his predecessors and looks forward to leading the Veterans Office with innovation and efficiency. With a strong desire to serve individuals and the community, he is eager to attend local veterans group meetings and meet veterans throughout the county. He encourages veterans to review their benefits regularly, as legislation regarding veteran benefits often changes. 47-year-old Andrew Thomas Gray has been sentenced to half a year in jail and 5 years of probation for pointing a firearm at his wife and pulling the trigger. The Otter County Sheriff's Department responded to a report of a husband and wife getting into an altercation involving a firearm on the evening of March 6, 2024. Deputies responded to the Deer Creek residence and learned that the husband, identified as Gray, had left the scene. According to court documents, deputies spoke with the wife, who said that Gray had come home from work. The pair went to the grocery store, then Gray got angry with her for spending too much money. When they arrived home, Gray quickly went into a rage, which alarmed their dog, who bit Gray on the arm. Gray stormed to their bedroom and pulled his shotgun from under the bed and said he was going to shoot the dog in front of her. The wife stopped Gray in the doorway and told him to calm down. He began yelling and swearing at her, sat down on the bed, pointed the gun at her, and pulled the trigger. The wife said that she could hear the click when he had attempted to fire. Gray then stated that he wished there had been a bullet in the gun because she deserved it. Early into the morning hours, Gray turned himself in at a gas station. He told officers that he had got agitated at home by the dogs and was yelling at his wife about spending too much money on groceries before grabbing the shotgun and saying he was going to shoot the dog. He then admitted that he had pointed the gun at his wife, but denied that he pulled the trigger. After initially claiming he was not guilty, Gray pled guilty to second-degree assault back in May as part of a plea agreement and was sentenced on Monday to 120 days in Otter County Jail and 5 years probation. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonememorials.com, memorials that matter. For KBRFradio.com news, I'm Derek Sidian. Subscribe to the KBRF Radio YouTube channel and tune in every Friday at 12:30 to stay up to date with local news. Get more news at KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.